Now on Money Talk 1010 AM, it's your RX for Love and Success with Dr. Gina. Brought to you by Defy Medical, a leading concierge medical practice focusing on both preventive and restorative therapies. Dr. Gina Midyett is a psychotherapist with her PhD from prestigious Pepperdine University. Along with her PhD, she's a mental health advisor. Now, here is Dr. Gina with Roxanne Wilder.
They call me Dr. Love. They call me Dr. Love.
Oh, we love that song. Dr. Gina,
Yes.
you are Dr. Love.
That pumps me up, especially with that thin energy you gave me today.
Yes.
I'm
We
so
are
hyper.
ready to go. We sure are. We're here for you. This is your RX for Love and Success, brought to you by Defy Medical. And if you want to get on the line with Gina, you posed a really great challenge to your Facebook followers today.
I did. I want to hear your craziest sex stories or dating stories. You know, as I said, as a sex therapist, I've heard everything and nothing shocks me anymore. So I just want some more information. I just want to challenge people to shock me.
If you want to shock Gina, call 888-404-1010. We're here for you all night. Also, if you have questions for Dr. Love, Gina's here to help you. And you know this is going to be a good show when we have the lively show prep, the pre-show meeting, and the kinds of conversations we were having earlier, because we have a really wonderful panel tonight. Of course, we have Dr. Roger Murray, and Dr. Roger Murray is the author of Success Today, and also is the word founder, originator of the Casanova Cleopatra treatments. How would we define that? The first to do it.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to hear all about that. And of course, radio legend, a good friend of mine, Steve Austin, QYK, Q105. We can hear you all over.
Yeah, thank you very much. Great to see you as always. We're old friends. And Doctor, thanks for having me on the show.
Oh, thanks for being here. We're so excited to have you.
Yeah, I'm loving being here.
Well, let's start with you, Dr. Murray. Tell us about, and we've talked about the Casanova and the Cleopatra treatments,
Yes.
I should say procedures, before on this show, but give us an idea of what they're all about.
The Casanova procedure was originally invented because a lot of patients were starting to complain that they couldn't have really great sex, they couldn't keep it up, and they wanted to know something other than just taking pills, or injections.
Mm-hmm. So you came up with the Casanova procedure, and then the Cleopatra is the female version.
That is correct.
And so how does the procedure work? Well, first of all, who do you find is coming to you most for these situations? Like you said, someone who's dissatisfied with their sex life.
I think the people that I'm seeing the most of now is the elderly people that used to be larger than they are now and used to be a lot more active and still want to have a very active sex life.
I know, because only our noses and our ears continue to grow, right?
Yes, that's
Everything
true.
else kind of shrinks as we get older.
Especially for women too. You know, I find a lot of my clients, the men will come to me and tell me, can you please help my wife? She has no sexual desire. And then she comes in and she's like, I don't know what to do. I'm really tired. And, but even when I get rest, I still don't feel desirable. I still don't want to have sex. So this procedure definitely helps with that too.
That's correct.
It does. Okay.
I was just going to ask, what is the procedure for guys? Not that I need it. Doctor. Just asking.
It's just an anonymous question.
Yeah, what do they do?
The Casanova procedure is basically a three-part procedure. The first part is that after you're age 40, your fat pad starts to drop. There's what we call a suprapubic fat pad. It begins to drop and occlude about 1.5 inches of penile length. So by getting rid of that fat pad, you don't grow an extra 1.5 inches, but you have another 1.5 inches available to you. The second part is where we take your blood, spin it down, get the stem cells and the growth factors, inject that into the shaft of the penis, which makes the penis larger. And lastly, if a man needs a larger head, we can use some gels to make the head larger.
Now, when you're talking about the part where you take the blood and you spin the blood, that's similar to, even I've heard of those vampire facials.
It's almost the exact same thing.
Kinds of principles.
Same principle.
I see. And so what kinds of results, like how long does that last? If you do those procedures you described, the Casanova for a male, how long does that last?
The fat dissolution is forever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
The injections into the shaft of the penis, we have found that you need it once, and then 6 months later, a second injection, and then we don't know long because it's lasting years. The gel, probably about once a year.
So does the procedure hurt? Do you find that is there any pain
No,
involved?
it's absolutely totally painless because we do a penile block. So 2 little injections on the side of the penis, you feel absolutely nothing.
Best news ever.
That something doesn't hurt
question,
down
too.
there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's great that men now have the option of having this cosmetic procedure done down there. You know, I mean, you can have a facelift, you have your nose done, but now you can get your penis larger. That's amazing.
Well, you know what? It's interesting too, because I would imagine that so as soon as this person checks out, they're good to go. The effects are immediate.
No.
No.
They-
Okay.
no.
What happens?
Well, first of all, you get a lot of swelling from the solution that we use to dissolve the fat. That does go away in about a week. And most of the men that we have done it on have told me they couldn't wait more than a week to try it out.
I bet. Okay, so how does the procedure work? Because Steve's over here, he's squirming a little bit hearing about, all guys do that, right?
Once
hear
you
about
mention needles.
right, needles. Everyone's a little squeamish. But what about for the woman? What kind of procedure takes place when it's the Cleopatra?
The Cleopatra procedure is similar, but you have to understand that there are cells in the opening of the vagina that are sensitive to testosterone. There are cells that are sensitive to estrogen, and there are cells that are sensitive to both. So we take the PRP, platelet-rich plasma, we inject it around the periurethral glands. We then go in 2 circles around the clitoris. We then go inside the vagina for the G-spot, and then we go even further inside for the C-spot.
Now, I heard about this C-spot.
Yes.
Gina, you were doing a RX for Love and Success Raw
Exactly,
video,
yes.
unplugged. And so you were talking about this very situation where there's, you hear about the G-spot, but you don't hear about the C-spot as often.
And Dr. Murray and I were speaking about this off camera about how as women, we have the spot, where through oral sex, we get satisfaction through there. But how about the G-spot? Where is the G-spot? I think that's the magic question. And now you're going to answer.
You're smiling, and I think
We all
probably
wanna
need a
know.
roadmap to it. It sounds like a
Actually,
little
it's
complicated.
very simple. It's
for complicated.
It's
know.
about 3.5 centimeters inside the vagina. Tilt your fingertips.
I knew this.
Tilt your fingertips up, and you'll feel it. It's a tissue that feels a little bit different than the surrounding tissue.
All right. Well,
Well, we need to know where that
Who
is. I
knew?
know I've always wanted to know where that G-spot is. Where are you?
so what kinds of people, like you said, anybody who's, maybe if you're over 40 and you find that these changes have taken place in your body, and what do people talk about when they come to you and say for their post-op, so to speak, and talk about the results and how they're feeling?
Men or women?
Both.
The men usually, by the time they come for follow-up, which is about a month, the swelling has all gone down. They tell me that when they hold their penis, as if to masturbate, it feels almost a third larger. So
That's amazing.
they like that. The head, of course, is about bigger because we put a full CC in. The women say that their vaginas are more youthful, they're more responsive, and besides, in a woman, her fat pad grows after 40. It tends to drop down, and so the introitus, the opening of the vagina, tends to be at the wrong angle as when you're younger. So by dissolving the fat pad, you lift the introitus, so the opening of the vagina lifts up, so it's more sensitive to the intromission of the penis.
And so these effects last permanently once you do the procedure? Or for how long?
The female ones have lasted, so far we haven't had anybody coming back saying it stopped working. We've had a few men say that they prefer to have that second shot at 6 months.
I see. And so that's good to hear. I mean, there are options for those individuals who say, hey, I'd like to make these changes about my body, and they can do that.
They certainly can.
Yeah, why not have it better, right? I mean, just make it work
yeah.
better.
I would think anytime you're a guy and women are always talking about girth, if I may,
Yes.
that if you're feeling like it's bigger, then obviously they're going to feel more confident about pleasing a woman.
Yes.
Yes.
It all comes down to confidence, it seems. So we have a lot of topics to get into today because, Gina, we're going to talk about sex addiction and how the digital world really affects sex addiction. I know that you have clients who come to you and they deal with that. And I'm wondering how they're surviving in this world with Tinder and all those things that could potentially fuel that side of things
It's
for them.
constant fueling of sex addiction.
And also, anyone here heard of a term called revenge porn?
Ooh,
Yes.
the nastiest revenge ever.
Yes, we're going to explain why that can be so dangerous. And of course, Gina's quickie. And something we want to share too about kissing and how there's more to it than just that magic you might feel with someone. There might be a special reason for that.
That's right.
So a lot to get to today. If you want to get on the line with Dr. Gina, give us a call, 888-404-1010. This is your RX for Love and Success, brought to you by Defy Medical. We'll be right back.
This segment is powered by TampaBayNightlife.tv, Tampa Bay's video entertainment guide and home of Tampa Bay's top 20 things to do with a new show every Friday.
Powered by Extra Medium Productions, your high-definition, full-service production studio. Call 727-584-4500, extramedium.com.
This is your RX for Love and Success with Dr. Gina. Dr. Love is here for you. I'm Roxanne Wilder. We have Dr. Murray with us tonight, as well as Steve Austin, so a great panel. And tonight we're going to talk about sex addiction. And Gina, first of all, I know that you're at the forefront of this because you see clients who deal with this.
Yes. And I'm going to help people understand what sex addiction is. And it's compulsive sexual thoughts and acts. But in order for it to be an addiction, it has to impact your life in a negative way. And you usually have to intensify the behavior to achieve the same result. So that's how you know it's an addiction.
I've always been worried about people who are dealing with this because, say, for example, you have a drug addiction, you have a gambling addiction, you have a alcohol addiction, you will just naturally the goal is to stop doing what you're doing. But with sex, you don't want to completely stop having sex because it's part of life.
Exactly.
So how do you even treat that?
Well, I think, like I said, it has to just be healthy behavior. Once you see that it's affecting your life, if you're becoming too compulsive or obsessed over something, and then you lose focus on everything else in your life, that's when it's a problem. So it's just finding sex is healthy. It's just when it's starting to become secretive or obsessive, that's when you have to stop.
Those are the signs, the secretive nature, the obsessive nature.
Exactly.
And what about in this world that we live in? I know, anybody can have their addiction fueled, whether it's imaginary people, so to speak, in pornography, or whether it's someone you can know and hook up with so quickly in Tinder, it seems like.
Or chat rooms.
Chat rooms, right.
I mean, it's at your fingertips now. You don't have to do much. You can just have sex addiction, and people will feed into your behavior. They'll talk to you about sex. You can hook up very easily nowadays. So yeah, sex addict is definitely being fueled more than ever.
We've got Natalie on the phone and she wants to chat with Dr. Gina. Natalie, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing great. What's your question?
I've been dating somebody long distance who's in the military, and I'm not totally against porn, but it's starting to become a problem for me because he says, well, we're not near each other. It's what helps me because I miss you, that type of thing. But I still feel like, in a way, for me, it's cheating. So we've had conversations about it, but I'm not sure how to kind of broach the conversation again, that it bothers me.
So Natalie, you're saying that he engages in pornography when you're not together, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And then is it just watching porn? Is that what it is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, what bothers you about it? Do you feel like it's taking time away from your relationship with him?
Kind of, but I guess I feel like because I don't need that, I'm wondering why he does. I know guys are more visual, but I feel like if he's having to look at another woman, I still feel like, in a way, it's kind of cheating because I don't do that.
Well, the way you need to look at it is, first of all, I would talk to him and say, maybe there's a way, even though that you're not into that, there's a way that you guys can engage together in some kind of sexual fantasy or sexual talk. And that way it'll fulfill him, because it sounds like he definitely has needs. I mean, you guys don't see each other. I mean, he has to orgasm. He has to have his sexual desires fulfilled. So if you're telling him not to watch pornography, what do you expect him to do? So what are you going to do to fulfill that role for him? How are you going to replace that pornography?
I see. Okay. I'm just going to have to talk to him a little bit more about it.
On a positive note, at least he's being honest about it.
Absolutely. Yes, because pornography can be healthy. And like I said before, it's a problem when it's secretive and when it becomes obsessive. But if he's being honest with you and he's telling you, hey, I'm sexually active, I know we're not physically here, I'm not doing it with anyone else, but I'm just watching it, maybe you can engage a little more in the fantasy with him.
Okay. I think you're right. All right. I'm going to try that. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Take care, Natalie. Good luck.
Could I chime in as a guy?
Of course,
yes,
please.
Steve, let's hear it.
A guy in the military, if that's taking care of the problem for him and he's not going out and looking for women, I think she's winning there because, if he
Absolutely.
gets sexually frustrated and he doesn't watch porn because it bothers her, he might run into a girl after a few drinks one night, and then it is a problem.
Well, I mean, I like his honesty. I definitely
Yeah.
like the honesty, but she's entitled to feel that way and to
Sure.
say it hurts my feelings. That's
Yeah.
basically what she's saying.
That's
Is
what
it
I'm
hurts my
thinking.
feelings.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. If they can maybe find a fantasy together to
But
where she feels like she's
It's not a
part of
real
it.
woman, though. It's not a woman in his life. That's what I'm saying. So
Right.
It's just fantasy.
Well, Dr. Murray, medically, isn't there some kind of fact to where a man has to orgasm a certain amount of time? I know I did read something about that. Is that true?
Well, I don't
Written by a man.
The actual number is when does you keep making sperm, it keeps getting stored.
Yeah.
After 45 days, it starts to die in the seminal vesicles. So you've got a time period of about 45 days.
Interesting.
Get it out.
And I will chime in one more time that,
Yes.
when I was in the military, we was in overseas bases. Sex cost about $3 to $5.
Oh, my
And
goodness.
So it's extremely available. And if you look at the statistics on Vietnam, we had, of the troops in Vietnam, there was a 97% VD rate.
Oh, my goodness.
97% during
my
a
goodness.
13-month tour.
Right.
So doing the pornography all of a sudden sounds a lot easier because the HIV is higher over there. It's terrible.
Yes.
So a little pornography versus going out into these villages and partaking in local pleasures, I'd do the pornography.
Yeah, so Natalie's good. I mean, be very thankful that he's just doing that.
We've got Ron on the line. Ron, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are y'all?
Very good. What's your question for Dr. Love?
Yeah, Dr. Love, on your website you have a Casanova treatment for enhancement,
Yes.
and I thought Dr. Murray might be his specialty, but it sounds, I guess I'll be honest with you, I'm a little chicken about it, but I'd like to hear more and maybe get convinced to go ahead and do it. And I was wondering if Dr. Murray especially could address my concerns.
Well, first place that you can look is Defy Medical. That's
Yes.
one place to go to find out more information.
Yeah, you can do it
Okay.
here in Tampa, it's right in your neighborhood.
Okay, good.
But yeah, Dr. Murray will answer your questions because it sounds like there's a fear too, right, with the needle, you said, or just kind of questions on how it works.
Yeah. I mean, it's and how long? How long does it last? Is there, does it diminish after so many years? And do you have to go back for treatments? And what's entailed in the full treatment?
Can I ask you how old you are?
How old?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, 50.
Okay.
50.
All right. Well, after age 40, your fat pad, what we call the suprapubic fat pad, starts to grow and descend. And so we dissolve that, okay, with phosphatidylcholine. And that's permanent. So that big bulge you have there, that's gone. You start looking like a 18 to 20-year-old with no fat pad. Then we use our PRP, which is protein-rich plasma. We suck your blood out of your arm, spin it down, activate the stem cells, and inject that into the shaft of the penis. Thereafter, depending on the size of your penis, you may or may not want it enhanced, but we have a gel that will make it larger. And that actually is pleasurable for both you and your partner.
Ron, here's the good news. You said you're 50. You sound young to me.
I know,
So
he
you said, I
does.
thought I was guessing maybe 30. I'm usually good at guessing people's ages versus by their voices. So
I like you. Very much.
Ron, does that answer your questions? Are you interested in doing this procedure?
Yes. So if I'm interested in take the chicken out of me and I do it, should I just go to to Dr. Gina? I think it's on your website. Should I just go there and click into it and set up some type of visit to see if I'm a good candidate for it?
Yeah, absolutely. You can definitely do that, or just go to defymedical.com and they'll set you up there too. But yeah, you can definitely do it through my website too. It'll go directly to the website.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your help.
You're so welcome.
So, Dr. Murray, tell us about the book Success Today, too, because that's the book that you've written also with Brian Tracy.
Oh, that is a book written by 38 different authors dealing with different subject matters. And, of course, Brian Tracy, everybody knows him.
Mm-hmm.
And they asked me to write the chapter on aging. And so I wrote the chapter which...
So just aging well, basically.
Yeah.
And when I read that chapter, I thought it was so interesting how people don't have to age anymore. There's just so much that they can do now. I know over at Defy Medical, there's just so many procedures. And I see men now walking around that are in their 50s and 60s. They look like they're in their 40s and 30s. It's amazing.
It's nice to be able to find the fountain of youth right in your backyard. Absolutely. Absolutely. So we have a lot of interesting topics still to delve into. As we mentioned, we're going to be talking about revenge porn. Hopefully no one here has dealt with that, but this is a big thing, especially for younger generations. And of course, Dr. Love's Quickie. And if you want to get on the line with Gina, you can give us a call at 888-404-1010. And again, if you have questions for Dr. Murray, Steve Austin, myself, give us a call. And of course, Dr. Love. We're going to take a quick break on RX for Love and Success, brought to you by Defy Medical. We'll be right back.
This segment is powered by TampaBayNightlife.tv, Tampa Bay's video entertainment guide and home of Tampa Bay's top 20 things to do with a new show every Friday.
Powered by Extra Medium Productions, your high-definition, full-service production studio. Call 727-584-4500, extramedium.com.
Welcome back. This is your RX for Love and Success with Dr. Love, Dr. Gina Midyett. I'm Roxanne Wilder, and we are brought to you by Defy Medical, and we have two wonderful gentlemen in studio with us tonight. Is it today or tonight? It's been a long
tonight,
day, right?
yeah.
I don't even know what time it is at this point.
Steve Austin and Dr. Roger Murray. Yes. And just a great panel here. We're fielding some calls, so if you want to get on the line, 888-404-1010. And the first thing, Gina, you had given a challenge out on your Facebook page today.
I want someone to tell me their craziest sexual experience or their craziest dating experience. I want someone to shock me. I just heard it all. I need something different.
Well, we have Inez on the line, and she has a crazy experience. I'm curious if this isn't Inez, the Mexican sports reporter. You know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Is that it? That's not this Inez, right? Inez. Hi there.
You're not a Mexican sports reporter?
No, not Inez.
There's a very beautiful Mexican sports reporter named Inez. So tell us about your crazy experience.
Okay, well, one time it was this guy that I was going to actually get married to. He was my ex-fiance. And I got him a whole bunch of signed Lawrence Taylor, the football player.
Mm-hmm.
I got him
New York Giants. Hall of Fame, yes. Mm-hmm.
Exactly, and a hat and stuff like that. And I drove up to his friend's house because we had broken up at the time. And he took the hat. We were cussing at each other for some reason. And he took the hat and wiped his butt with it. And I got out of the car and went to pop my trunk and took my, what is it called? That thing, crowbar thing?
Right, tire tool, yeah.
Yeah, the tire tool. Busted him in his kneecap with it, and then jumped on him, and probably.
Inez.
Oh,
I think Gina meant crazy experience, not psychotic experience. Darling, you're bad behaved.
I didn't hit him that hard. He wasn't bleeding, but I mean, I got him pretty good. And then after, his friend was standing there videotaping it.
That's hot.
I'm not gonna lie.
Steve's getting turned on.
Yeah. Wow.
He slammed me down to the ground pretty hard, but I made sure he came with me because I wrapped my legs around him, and then as he was getting up, I just hit him with the right hook, and he was out. And I never do out before until then.
Inez, you need to think about the MMA. You need to think about a career in fighting because apparently,
you're pretty good.
Got the killer instinct, girl.
And you wonder why he's an ex.
Yeah, well, I know. Listen, he tried to hit me with a car. So
that's not good.
I knew there was more.
Oh, my goodness.
But that's another story.
We don't condone any of that.
No. Wow, Inez, that's a crazy psychotic experience. But I'm glad you're okay, and I hope that doesn't happen again to you.
No.
Stay safe.
He moved, and I would never be with someone like, he was just, Doctor, that's a good question for you, Dr. Gina.
Yes.
Why are men so insecure sometimes, and then they try to flip it on you and make you feel like you're the insecure one?
Well, you just said it. If anyone is insecure, then they usually will reflect their behavior onto you. So I don't know if this case, it sounds like just both of you were in a really bad situation. But in general, the question of insecurity, yes, if you're insecure within yourself, then you're going to probably project that feeling towards the other person. It makes you feel better.
Right.
It's called
right.
projection.
Projection. That's right.
Or like flip it, that whole reverse psychology thing.
Well, you need to stay away from those people. Just stay confident and secure within yourself, and just be around positive people that aren't going to do things like run you over with a car.
And don't be projecting your rage onto people, Inez.
I won't. I promise. I've been getting help with it. So no more projecting.
If not, you can take some what is it, Dr. Murray? Oxytocin? Oxytocin. It's the cuddle hormone. It'll help you relax.
Cuddle hormone?
See, Inez says cuddle like it's not part of her vocabulary.
Dr. Murray, explain what oxytocin is.
Oxytocin is a hormone put out by the brain that has two effects. The first effect on the female is it allows easier orgasm, and then the woman's allowed to become multi-orgasmic. On the men when after they finish having sex, instead of just getting up, wiping off, going back to bed and sleeping, they start cuddling.
Let's put this in the water.
Listen, I started taking some oxytocin, and I've been feeling really happy and cuddly.
So your body produces it naturally.
Yes.
So this is something that you can take as a supplement then, and it's safe because...
It's a nose spray.
It's a nose spray.
Yeah, the guy, Defy Medical, prescribes it to me, and I take it every morning. I spray it up my nose.
I got to come see you.
We have all the magic tricks.
So that's something that normally, you produce it in those circumstances, but guys can use it too, even though they don't normally produce it, or do you ever produce it?
Most of the wives actually make their husbands take it that I know of.
Oh.
Yes.
Because it's that time after that they want to be cuddly.
Dr. Murray's wife is on the other side, and she's raising her hand, saying that she makes you take it, Dr. Murray.
She sticks this thing up my nose twice a day and says, "Here, take it."
Just take this cuddle hormone.
Hey, that reminds me, speaking of hormones, I was reading an interesting article about when you kiss somebody, the scents that you exchange, they did this study, and it showed that women were more attracted to men whose immunity genes are different than theirs. And you pick this up, you determine this, I should say subliminally, not consciously, but you pick this up subliminally when you're kissing someone. Is that true?
That is true. That is true.
And it makes your kids more immune? Is that the result?
Right. The idea in this one study is that if, for example, you and your wife are kissing and you decide that you like how she smells, she likes how you smell, and it probably means that you have different genetic immunity. So then if you procreate and have children and one of you gets sick in the house, you're not both going to get sick and cause your children to get more sick. Is that how that would work, doctor?
Exactly how it works.
Oh, okay.
I love that. I need to kiss more.
Mm-hmm. But you know what? I do find that the people, I've been in long-term relationships with don't get sick at the same time.
Yeah.
My boyfriend and I do not get sick at the same time ever.
It's true.
So there you
Good
go.
point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, we've got Tom on the line. Tom, how you doing?
Good.
You got a question, honey?
Tom.
What's happening?
Yeah, I got a question for Dr. Murray and possibly Dr. Gina. I realize you deal with penis enlargement and stuff like that. I've got the opposite problem as to where I have created discomfort for ex-girlfriends, and it's not enjoyable for really either one of us. Is there anything that can be done regarding that? Or, for example, listening to this last segment, that cuddle hormone or whatever it is, could that relax a woman more?
No, it's
to
not.
help?
No, it's not designed for relaxation. Your problem is, do you mind if I ask you approximately how big you are?
About 9 inches.
Okay. What you need to understand is that the average woman's vagina is only about 3.5. So, but after she goes into plateau phase, her vagina actually extends to about 7 to 8 inches. So you need to, perhaps before you do the deep penetration, which is painful, allow the woman to reach a plateau phase with prolonged foreplay and so forth like that, and then she probably can accommodate you.
Oh, that makes sense.
It does.
Yes.
Okay. And on Dr. Gina's side, psychologically, it affects me.
Right. But you know what Dr. Murray was saying, because I think it's all about confidence. So right now you're feeling insecure about your size. You're feeling like you're not pleasing your woman. So if you develop these skills to where you feel like you're pleasing her and she's satisfied, that's going to help you mentally to be prepared to satisfy her and to feel good about yourself. So it's all about confidence. It's a mental game.
Right. But in regards to, it feels as far as, the discomfort for them and then me not reaching my climax is difficult. The combination doesn't work.
Right. So that's why I think, like Dr. Murray said, is trying these new skills, trying these new techniques that he's referring to, because that will work and that will help you for you to climax and for your woman to climax also.
In addition to that, you need to think of the position you're in. If you're going to have her legs up in the air, then her vaginal barrel is going to be much shorter. And also, she needs to be actually in the missionary position, which also allows you to penetrate a lot deeper. So your intromission should be later on during making love, a lot of foreplay, and then get her into a position that's, not doggy position, but at least something resembling missionary position.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm sort of like limited to the positions that I'm capable of with them.
And why is that?
Sounds like it.
Oh, just
he's a little limited to the positions. In other words, there are some positions he should probably avoid.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes. So,
all right.
You know what, Tom? This is one thing, too, you might want to think about is we're hard on ourselves, but everybody just needs to we need to love each other, love ourselves, I should say, have confidence with what God gave us in that regard. Just, be happy.
Yeah, just be happy with it. And it sounds like you have some new ideas that you can try with her that is going to help you be confident and feel good about yourself. And yeah, like Roxanne said, don't be so hard on yourself.
Oh, yeah. But you're trying to please someone, and that's the difficult part. You know what I mean? You're basically hurting someone while trying to please them at the same time. That's sort of a conflict.
Right. But, like Dr. Murray said, you have to get her prepared, have her feel comfortable so that when you do penetrate, it's not going to hurt her.
Okay.
And again, it's all about communication, which it sounds like you guys are on the right track as far as that goes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I'm willing to try anything. That's not a problem there. But now, on the other hand, the caller before me,
yes.
I did have an ex-wife that tried to run me over in my trailblazer.
Oh, my gosh.
Maybe it's her.
So that brought back some painful memories. We're sorry, Tom.
More oxytocin.
Yes, oxytocin.
But hence, I did say X.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, thank God you're not with her anymore. That's good.
All right, Tom. Well, thanks for calling and take care.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Good luck to you.
You're welcome.
Good luck to you. Hey, Steve, I know that you saw Dr. Gina's post earlier on Facebook about her crazy stories, and we were all geared up to hear your crazy story.
Know.
I'll make it quick. I'm sure we must have a break coming up. But I was just going to say, when I was, I lived in...
Wait.
I'll tell it when we come back.
Tease. Okay, we're going to hear about that when we come back.
That's so
Steve
exciting.
Austin's crazy sex story. Woohoo! If you want to get on the line with Dr. Gina, Dr. Murray, Steve Austin, myself, Roxanne Wilder, give us a call, 888-404-1010. This is your RX for Love and Success, brought to you by Defy Medical.
This segment is powered by TampaBayNightlife.tv, Tampa Bay's video entertainment guide and home of Tampa Bay's top 20 things to do with a new show every Friday.
Powered by Extra Medium Productions, your high-definition, full-service production studio. Call 727-584-4500, extramedium.com.
Welcome back to your RX for Love and Success with Dr. Gina. I'm Roxanne Wilder, and we are having such an interesting conversation off air, too.
Yeah.
I mean, we are learning so much from Dr. Roger Murray.
I know.
And we're about to learn Steve Austin's craziest story.
Oh, can't wait.
Okay, when I was like 16, I got a 68 Volkswagen, first car. I'll make this quick. In this little town I lived in, my dad was career military. All we had to do was circle Dairy Queen and Shoney's and a Pizza Hut at night. That was all there was on Saturday night. You just circled them.
Sure.
I don't know if you remember those days. But anyway, we went into Pizza Hut to eat. Make a long story short, woman working in there, gorgeous, 42 years old. I'm 16. Ooh. Needs a ride home because it's snowing. So I give her a ride home. Got my buddy with me.
You're 16 years old.
Yeah, she's like, come in, have a couple of beers, you know, and we're 16. So we had a couple of beers. Next, one thing leads to another. So I ended up like fooling around with her for a couple of months. Now, obviously, today they put her in prison.
I was just going to say, Steve, that's illegal. Not on your behalf, but on hers.
She's probably not even around now. But, but you know, I mean, I know, people say, hey, that'll warp you, it'll ruin your life. I got to say it didn't. Okay, I thought it was awesome. But now, is that something that could have affected me in some way because I didn't feel like I was?
Yeah, I mean, it could.
Is that bad to be that young with a woman? I mean, every girl in high school loved me after that.
Right. Well, I mean, it sounds like for you, it lifted up your self-esteem. It made you feel really good.
I learned a few tricks I didn't know.
Right.
Let me ask you this. Do you have a predilection for older women at all?
No.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I never dated girls that were younger than me, that's for sure, but not a lot older.
Not a lot older. Okay.
I mean, I think by 16, you are kind of sexually already ready for an experience. Now, of course, that can affect a 16-year-old, a 42-year-old woman. It could definitely affect you.
I apologized a lot the first night. There's a lot of, I'm really sorry.
Because it could confuse you. I think it'll confuse you. It's because it might be like, okay, that's my mom. That's right. I can see where that could be. But obviously for you, it didn't do that. So it wasn't a problem for you.
I mean, I'm sure that's happened to other people, men and women. And, you always see so much about it in the news these days. But I see these stories, and I understand that it warps people, hurts people. But for me, I was like, no.
Yeah.
Kind of pertaining to a conversation we were having off air, do you think, I want to hear from everyone as well, especially our doctors and Steve as well, but do you think that things that you're exposed to in your early sexually formative years, do those affect your preferences and things that you like down the road? I mean, do you like what you like just because you do, or do you have experiences that sometimes can affect that as well?
Well, I mean, I think it comes down to trauma. Wouldn't you say, Dr. Murray? Kind of when you have an experience that affects you in a traumatic way, that'll definitely form you into, adulthood, into having memories.
Yeah, I guess the question I would ask you is, did your wife ever complain of lack of intimacy?
No.
With you?
No.
Okay, then it didn't affect you.
No. No.
But the biggest problem I think we see is young men who are in pursuit of as much sexual activity as they can get. And of course, then they grow up and the wife expects them to be intimate, and all they know how to do is to do it physically.
Oh, no, sure.
And so they don't know how to be intimate because they didn't learn to be intimate.
They've detached themselves from the intimacy.
Yes.
But see, I think that's what the older woman did, though. She made me slow down, made me be, passionate and caring. And
so you had the opposite
effect.
effect.
Was this?
Always a little tiny, middle of nowhere.
Well, I think that there are some situations. Oh, you know what I read, Dr. Gina? I read that girls who have great relationships with their fathers end up having good, healthy relationships and intimacy and romantic lives as they proceed if they've had a good relationship with their own father. If their father's in their life, if their father, was a great dad, so to speak. Who's that person for the young man? Is that the mother who's going to teach them how to have a good, because when you talk about guys who, like you said, Dr. Murray, those men who are just out there trying to hook up and then they are not able to have that intimacy down the road. I'm trying to understand the root of that.
I think it's also them seeing a loving relationship, seeing their father. It doesn't have to be that their mother and father biologically, it could be a stepmother, whatever it is, but they grow up seeing love, seeing a healthy relationship. I think that's what's going to form a man.
We have Roland on the line who has a crazy story. Roland, what is it?
Yes.
Spit it out.
Yes, I have a story to tell.
Wow, you're like Barry White.
That's funny you say that because my girlfriend calls me Barry White Boy. Anyway, I met my girl about 5 years ago, and it was kind of like love at first sight. We met at a bar, and I was sliding through the bar, and she was on my trail. And we ended up switching numbers, and we met, and we have been caring about each other ever since. But the story that I wanted to tell was one night I went over to my uncle's house with my girl, and we went over there. We got wasted, drinking, partying, hanging out. And around 11 at night, I asked my uncle if I could use his room. So he said, sure, nephew, go ahead. So we went in around 11 o'clock at night. and we're wasted. Sometimes when you're under the influence, you can go longer. Your sex drive can go longer and things like this. But it's around 11 o'clock a.m. now, and my uncle comes beating on the door, and he says, I need to go to work. You guys need to finish up. And we still weren't finished yet. So my uncle went into work late that day, and he's never forgave me for that.
Oh, no. You made him late. Oh, gosh.
Oh, my goodness.
Hopefully you didn't make her late.
Well,
exactly.
Well, the reason was she likes to get creative in the bedroom, and sometimes she likes to go above and beyond, and I saw this movie, 50 Shades of Grey, and I think that they came out with the movie and the book a little too late because my girl was trying that on me back then.
She was taking charge on you?
Well, she not anything violent, but
right.
The dog leash and tie my hands up.
Oh, okay.
Maybe smack me around a little bit, but not
little S&M, just some light S&M.
Yes, not anything violent, nothing that would hurt me, and nothing that would make anyone think anything nasty is going on. It was all in fun and games.
But your uncle got to witness all of this.
No.
Oh, he didn't witness this. Oh, okay. So he didn't see
He was just late to work.
He was just late to work. Okay. Well, that's good. At least I didn't see it.
Well, Roland, you're a good storyteller. I like your language use, switching numbers and sliding on my trail. You've got quite some creative vocabulary.
I know. Now you got to top that, right? What are you going to do to top that?
Thank you very much. I read a lot, and it has expanded vocabulary extensively.
Oh, we like it. Well, thanks for calling, Roland.
Yes, go write a novel. I love it.
Yes. Well, guys, it's been so much fun.
Yes,
I know.
thank you.
Thanks for coming in, everybody.
Yes, we had a great time.
Yes, always love being with Dr. Love, and you're so helpful to our callers.
Thank
And
you.
we'll be here again next Thursday night, 7 to 8. You know where to find us, Money Talk 1010. For everyone here at Money Talk 1010, for Defy Medical, for Pat George in there, I am Roxanne Wilder. Have a wonderful evening.